Welcome to my first day as a Scrum Master. I've been a Scrum Master for over 5 years, but I will tell you that most of the time, the things that you do on your first day as a Scrum Master, whether you've been in the field for 5 years or it's your first day, some of the things that you're doing are going to be very similar. First thing you want to do is make sure that you're making a good impression. That means if you're working remotely, make sure that your laptop and everything is syncing, everything is logged into, and there are no issues before your first meeting. My first meeting is at 9, so I'm not going to wait until 8:30 or 8:45 to log in. I actually did this last night, but just make sure you leave yourself plenty of time. That way you're not stressing out if you run into any technical issues. I always say just expect the unexpected, because more often than not, things don't go as smoothly as you would like. So at least you're prepared, and if the worst thing that happens is you just have extra time, you can go make a cup of coffee, or even one of the things I did was I started looking through some of the emails that I received. On the first day, you might not get, when you log in, you might not get a ton of emails with onboarding information before you start meeting with people, but what I found is I got a lot of meeting invites. So what I did was I looked through, I tried to see who some of those people were. You can go in and double click on their names, see what their titles are, see what org they work in, and you can just get a feel for what the meeting structure is and what their goals are. Now, the first thing I have today is a meeting with my manager. I'm very excited. If you didn't know, I'm very excited to be working at this new company. I have a very good feeling. So I have a meeting with my manager, and the most important thing is I'm prepared, both from a technology standpoint. I made sure to get ready, look very presentable. This is your first impression, your first day with some people you've already met, but a lot of people you've never met before. You want to start off on a good foot. And I have a notepad right here. I have a notepad and pen. For me, it's just easier and less stressful that I can just write things down. I can write questions down as they're talking. I'm actually the kind of person that I process information better. Sometimes instead of just focusing on what people are saying, I like to take notes. So I guess I'm a visual person, and I'm also an audio learner where I listen to what people are saying. So whatever works for you, but you just want to make sure that you're able to focus, you're able to take notes without worrying about, oh, I forgot what this person said. I wish I would have written down that question. And I'm just gonna spend a lot of time listening. You just consider your first 2 weeks as if you're a consultant. You're just there. You're almost like a therapist. You're there to listen how things are going, and then gradually make some small changes to help them. Or if things are going very well, then you can understand more about what's going well within the company and how you can contribute. A couple of tips that I wanted to share for my first day that I thought were really great were some words of wisdom from my coworkers. And the first one came from one of my coworkers who pretty much said that they strive to be consistent. So if you're trying to make a positive impact, trying to strive to be consistent. And that could be in the way of, one of the examples given was like story points. So if you have many teams that you're working with, try to make sure that they are doing things using the same best practices. It doesn't mean that everything has to be exact, but striving to be consistent, and that little bit of consistency over time will help you get really great results. And the other thing that I think is great for any person that's just starting, or anyone who might get a little bit overwhelmed, was I always tell people on their first day to take it one day at a time. This is really great advice because you can get overwhelmed by the amount of new things that you're learning in your job as a beginner. And if you just take it one day at a time, you just focus on the right here and the right now, and focus on pretty much improving over time, focusing on what it is that you can learn that day instead of getting caught up in what you could be learning 30 days from now.